What are top skills for a business development executive? I get this question all the time, and maybe you're in business development and you want to know what the top skills are, or you're hiring a business development executive, you're putting together a job description and you want to know what the top skills are. So today we're going to cover what are the top skills for a business development executive. We're doing all that on this episode of the Inside BS Show. Hi, my name is Dave Lorenzo, and this is the show that takes you inside business strategy. We give you all the insider business secrets, and today we're answering the question, what are the top skills for a business development executive? I'm going to share with you 5 key skills, 5 top skills, and then toward the end of our time together, I'm going to share with you a hidden skill that most business development executives who are highly successful have, and they don't even know they have it. So you may have it, but if you don't have it, I can teach you to develop it. So stay with me to the end of the video. I'm going to share that hidden skill with you at the end of our time together. Okay, let's dive right into the content. Number 1 skill for a business development executive. The first skill I'm going to share with you is what I call having an external orientation. What does that mean? It means you care about the success of your clients. You're in business development and maybe you're a B2B business development executive, or maybe you're in a consumer business development role. Regardless, most business development executives focus on how they can help the people who they serve, how they can help their clients. Your product or your service, it hopefully achieves a specific outcome for your client. In B2B, you're going to achieve some sort of a return on investment for your clients, but that's not enough. That's just the price of entry. You need to have an external orientation, meaning you need to make sure your clients succeed. And the best business development executives do this before they ever sign up the client. They do this before the client becomes a client. Think about that for a moment. If you're focused on helping your prospect succeed before he's ever invested a penny in your services, you're absolutely going to be successful. Why? Because people like and they trust people who they believe have their best interests at heart. So how can you demonstrate this external orientation? Well, the easiest way is to refer somebody to that prospect. Let's say you have 50 prospects on your list that you're reaching out to this week. I would go through that list of 50 prospects and I would make an email introduction to every single one of those 50 prospects. Introduce someone from your network to someone from this prospect's organization right away. And then I would share with everyone in the organization that you introduced them to someone who could refer them business. This way, if you reach out to 50 people and introduce them to 50 people who can do business with them, 5 of them will actually hit and they'll do business together. Those 5 people are going to want to see more of you and they're going to want to hear more from you. So the external orientation, your focus on your prospect, will pay off in the long run because they're going to understand that you're interested in them. So that's the first skill that I want to share with you for a business development executive. The second skill that a business development executive possesses is the ability to do deep research. If I told you right now that one of your targeted prospects was IBM, what would you do? Well, the best business development executives, they dig in to who hires people just like them at IBM. And they come up with 5 or 6 people who could potentially hire them. But then they come up with 15 or 20 people who could potentially influence that decision. And they take massive action after they do the research. So even though this skill is deep research, the research must be followed up with action. You need to be able to dig into everyone at that company who could potentially bring you in. Now, if there are multiple divisions, you need to break those out. You may have 100 or 200 different people at an organization that you could target, and that's a good thing. When I was a business development executive in high-ticket consulting, our minimum price for an engagement was $250,000, but I didn't make a lot of money on $250,000 engagements, as crazy as it sounds. I made the most money when I sold consulting engagements that were $1 million or more. So I only focused on selling $1 million plus consulting engagements because that's where my time was best spent. What I did was I would target the biggest companies I could, and then I would dig deep into those companies to determine the 15 or 20 people who could potentially bring me in, and then the 100 people or so who could influence that decision. Now, how did I do this? LinkedIn was a great resource. I connected with everyone I knew at that company, everyone who's connected to me on LinkedIn, and then I interviewed them. I did individual, one-on-one research. I interviewed them about the company, the goals, the stated mission and purpose, and then I asked them who they knew that influenced my area of focus. When they knew someone and they introduced me to that person, I delved in and I did an informational interview with that person before I ever tried to sell anything. By the time I got in front of the ultimate decision maker, in some cases it was an executive committee member, in some cases it was even the CEO, by the time I got in front of this person, my reputation preceded me because 100 people in the company knew me and they knew that I was serious and they knew I asked good questions. I had referred them business already. And in addition, I asked the best, most focused questions because I had interviewed 5 or 6 or 7 people in the company who knew exactly what the person across from me was thinking. So LinkedIn is great. If it's a publicly traded company, you can look at the documents that are filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission or the regulatory agency. But the best information is going to come from one-on-one interviews you do with people who work there. Do your research. As a business development executive, deep research is a phenomenal, critical skill. The number 3 skill a business development executive needs to have is the ability to write and the ability to write persuasively and clearly. The way you write is the way you think. Your thought process needs to be clear, it needs to be straightforward, and it needs to be linear. You need to help people go from one step to the next in the sales process, but you need to help them on their own terms. And this comes from writing really persuasively. You need to be able to write in email. You need to be able to write in letters. You need to be able to write in articles. And then you need to be able to write casually in handwritten notes that appear that you're just sending them something off the cuff. Let me explain each of those. When you write in an article, you should write the way you speak. It should be conversational in nature. You're not writing a white paper, you're not writing a book, you're not writing a tome. So writing an article is conversational, it's informative, it's interesting, it's entertaining. White papers, on the other hand, should be more formal, and they should be based in logic, and they should be step-by-step guides, and they should be able to be passed around a company to help people understand the capabilities that you and your firm have. So these are 2 different types of writing skills that you have to master as a business development executive. Writing in an email needs to be conversational in tone, less formal. Writing for direct mail, a little bit more formal, highly professional. And then finally, writing to persuade people is critical. And that comes from leading with emotion and then supporting that emotion with logic to help people make the best decisions. You need to work on your writing skills because you're going to write content for websites, you're going to write content for articles, you're going to write content in email, you're going to write content in direct mail, you're going to write persuasive content, and you're going to write casual handwritten notes like thank you notes. All of those things are part of your job as a business development executive, and it's essential that you master the ability to write in those different formats. The 4th skill for a business development executive that is absolutely essential is self-awareness. You need to know what your strengths are, you need to know what your weaknesses are. And don't try and improve your weaknesses. Find support systems to bolster your weaknesses. So, for instance, with me, I know that I have a strength of communicating with you using this format, using video. And I love to do videos. I shoot video almost every day. We upload 1, 2, sometimes even 3 videos to YouTube every day. But I shoot the videos, I have a team that helps me with production, and then I have a post-production team. Why? Because my strength is doing this. It's talking to you one-on-one through the camera. My strength is not editing. My strength is not making sure the video looks good, making sure the audio sounds good. I have people who help me with that because those are weaknesses. I spend as much time as I can talking to you because I know that's where my strength is. As a business development executive, you need to have the same level of self-awareness, and you need to be able to understand that you will do better, you will make more money, you will enjoy more success when you leverage your strengths and find people to support your weaknesses. If you're watching this now and you're thinking, well, I work for a company and the company's not going to provide me with those resources, Dave, invest in them yourself. Hire a virtual assistant. Hire video editors yourself. You can do it. It will pay off for you in the long run. You're going to make a lot of money as a result of working with people who can support your weaknesses so that you can soar with your strengths. The next skill for a business development executive, the most important skill perhaps, is having a thick skin. What do I mean by a thick skin? Rejection just bounces off of you. People who send you notes, people who are critical of you, unless you've asked for it, forget about it, ignore it. Only accept advice from people you ask for it. Don't accept unsolicited advice. If someone rejects you, remember, there's always another client. If you get fired by a client, remember, there's always another client. You're gonna be able to find another client. Develop that thick skin. Let the rejection bounce off of you. Don't worry about it. In fact, don't even think about it another minute. All right, now we're up to the secret skill that I told you I would share with you. Before I get to that secret skill, I want to make sure you know that I have a free gift for you. If you scroll down in the description of this video, you will see some text that says free gift from Dave, and then there's a website. That website is revenueroadmapguide.com. That's your ticket. That's your ticket to a free business development system, a free success plan for you as a business development executive. If you want to get my free system, my revenue roadmap system that helps business development executives succeed, just go to revenueroadmapguide.com, enter your contact info there. When you do, you will immediately receive a link to download the guide. You can customize it for you, for your company. You'll make a lot of money with this guide, and it's my gift to you for joining me on these videos. It's absolutely free, revenueroadmapguide.com. Make sure you get yours right now. Okay, so here's the sixth hidden talent that the best business development executives possess, and that's the talent, the ability to tell a story. Why are stories so important? Well, because they keep people interested, they keep people entertained. You may have heard me tell stories in other videos, but one of the things that connects me with people, whether I'm doing a presentation in front of them or doing a presentation on video, is the stories I tell to not only hook them and pull them in, but also to engage them. You need to have three types of stories. The first type of story you need to have is an origin story that explains why you're there and what they will gain from working with you. Why you're there and what they will gain from working with you. The second type of story you need to have is a proof of concept story. You need to have a story that proves that people are going to get a huge return on investment from working with you. The third type of story you need to have is the story that conveys the emotion you want to leave your client with when you walk out of the room or when you hang up the phone. Those three types of stories are essential because people buy based on emotion and they justify it based on logic. When you do this, people remember you, they know you, they like you, they trust you, but they feel like there's a connection and they want to hear more from you and they want to work with you. So your ability to tell stories is critical. If you want to discover how to tell great stories, join me for my stories video series, which is coming up in just a few days. We'll put a link to it in the description of this video, and we're also going to put a link on a card right up here so that you can click to it. We're definitely going to do that series on how to tell a great story for sales. It's going to help you make a great living and live a great life. All right, this is part of a whole series on business development. Watch the next video. It's coming up right underneath me right now. My name is Dave Lorenzo. I'll see you in the next video.